Hello everybody, Don Evans here, and today I have the Breitling Seawolf Avenger 2. Now, I did an unboxing on this video. If you'd like to see that, I'll leave that in the description below. There is a lot of things I want to get to here. Some of them I'm going to forget. Keep in mind, this was a personal purchase for me, and there's a lot of reasons behind that. Some of them I'll talk about here. I guess some of them I will get to in the written article. And I want to try and not keep this video crazy long as I contend to do. So first things first, I purchased this from Govberg Watches, or the watch box. Came to me from Philadelphia. It was overnighted by FedEx. Peterb is the man that I bought it off of, so if you are interested in purchasing the watch from them, I will leave a link in the description below. Of course, if you are interested elsewhere or you're outside of the United States, take a look online, find your local dealers. Now, list price on these, I had list on the screen there with all the specifications and everything else. You're going to be able to find this watch a lot cheaper, even including through your ADs. And again, if you want to know the price that you can get it for from Govberg Watches, you can go ahead and shoot them an email or a phone call and get that information. So let me talk a little bit here. Now, this is the gray dial stencil version. There is also a baton dial version of the Seawolf Avenger. Of course, this is on the rubber strap with the heavy-duty deployant dive style clasp here. We'll talk about that more here shortly. So there's a lot of things I said as I wanted to discuss here, and one of them is being, if you follow me and you follow the channel and you follow watchreport.com and everything, you know that I do not wear watches of this size on the regular anymore. I've talked about that numerous times on the channel during certain reviews. So this one is definitely a departure for me as far as the size and everything. So let's get into that. Why would I purchase this watch then? Well, the simple reason being I've always wanted one of these watches. I always liked them. A friend of mine got one a few years ago. This, I think actually this specific one, but only on the bracelet. And, it just got put on the back burner, and then, as the years went by, I just started wearing smaller watches, and I was like, I'm never going to be able to wear this watch. And then, I just kind of got a bug about me. I got an itch, and I decided, screw it. I want it. I want to give it a shot. So I went ahead and searched around, found Govberg, gave me a great price. I went ahead and ordered it. I am extremely glad I did. Now, keep in mind, I've been wearing this a lot, so when you're taking a look at it, you are going to see scratches and marks and everything like that. You do have those super high polished mirror sides, so you're going to see just smudges and fingerprints as I'm holding it, touching it here. But this is a 45 millimeter watch, 55 millimeter lug to lug. It's 18 millimeters thick. It's a crazy large, heavy, over-engineered, if you will. A lot of text on the dial, something that I'm not always a huge fan of either. But I'll tell you what, I got the watch, and once I sized the rubber strap, and I'll talk about that here shortly, I absolutely fell in love with it. It is a gigantic watch. It is a heavy watch. There's no doubt about it. Let me go ahead here. Let's go ahead. We'll set up the scale here. Now, look at this. This is real-time video, folks. I can't get the damn thing off because why would I be able to get it off? I'm on camera here. So why would anything... Look, are you kidding me? Oh, these are real videos, people. Come on. Why would anything want to work out? Okay. So, if we go ahead, we'll just place it face down here. You're looking at 194.4 grams on this rubber strap. That is a beast of a watch. Go ahead, I'll put it on my 7.5-inch wrist. There it is on my 7.5-inch wrist, and you can see that 55 millimeter lug to lug is very long, but they have an extreme downward curve here, which makes it feel a lot more comfortable on the wrist and allows me to wear this comfortably. You can see there, you know, it's pretty much at the max for me, but I've been wearing this watch a lot. No problems at all whatsoever. And yes, it is thick. There's just no doubt about it. So everything I've said for the past few years, just disregard it. No, all joking aside, this is one of those things where it does come down to, just because specs on a paper, don't be afraid of them. You know, oh, this watch says it's 42 millimeters. There's no way I can wear it. It's too small. Well, if you take a look at the Avenger CD1 that I reviewed here a few years ago, that watch wears way more like a 44 millimeter than any 42 millimeter watch that I had ever seen. So you'd be wrong. Something like this, it does wear smaller as far as the width, as far as the length. So whether you're checking out reviews here on watchreport.com or you're checking them out anywhere else, do your research, try it on in a store if you can, if at all possible. Of course, most of us buy online these days, but if you can, check something out. Just don't be afraid of the specifications until you really have a chance to wear something, because sometimes they can be misleading. So I think one of the things here I want to talk about, this is the gray dial. It's the anthracite gray dial. It just, this dial specifically spoke to me. I went with the stencil markers for a reason. One of the reasons is just because that stencil design and just that rider tab design of the bezel is just something that just speaks Breitling to me, at least, you know, in their current iteration for, say, the past 20 years or so. It just speaks to me as I needed this one. Now, like I said, there is the... I'm trying to do this from behind the camera here and trying to concentrate. But anyways, as you can see, this does have that double AR coating on it. It is coated on the inside and the outside, which does really reduce the glare. Although you do have to be careful of things like that. Of course, it is a very good AR coating on the outside, but you do have to be careful of scratching the actual AR coating because you're not really going to scratch that sapphire crystal, but you can scratch the coating itself, and you can see it is slightly domed. But anyways, you can get the baton marker dial, and one of the things about the baton marker dial versus this one is you're going to have more lume. Now the hands are the same, but instead of the stenciled numerals, you're going to have, you know, these baton rectangular markers all the ways around the dial, and it's just more lume. As far as the strength of the lume, you can go ahead and take a look at it here. So you can see the lume glows strong on this, and I've really had no issues with it in the dark, a couple hours after, you know, if it had a nice charge on it or if I was outside in the daylight or anything like that. But there's not a lot of it. You're going to get more on the other dial version. So let me go ahead and I'll just give you a quick walk around. As you can see, you do, like I said, you have those high polished sides, you have the screws and the rider tab bezel. Go ahead here, give you a close-up look at that, what I call the grenade style crown. You can see you have your you have your stencil markers on your rotating bezel there as well. The useless helium release valve. Something really cool. Let's see if I can get in here close enough and it'll pick it up. There we go. You can see that little engraved Breitling B right there to the right of the Lume pip. Just a nice little touch that Breitling puts on there. So let me go ahead and talk a little bit about this rubber strap and why I don't have the bracelet. I may get the bracelet in the future. I have not decided. I purposely bought it on this rubber strap. If I buy the bracelet in the future, I'll do a video and I'll do a quick update about the bracelet and everything on there, because it is going to affect not only the look, but obviously the weight. This is already basically 200 grams on the rubber strap. So rubber strap is extremely high quality. It is extremely comfortable. It is very good rubber. It's still overpriced for what it is, because if you're going to buy this and the clasp and you're going to buy them together, it's about $695 if you're buying it just separately, which is, by the way, about the same price of the Pro 3 Breitling bracelet as well. But I purposely wanted it because of this clasp. You do not get this same style clasp on the bracelet. This is just a nice thick chunk of metal. I love the push button on here. You could hear it when you lock it down. It just locks down so nicely. You have that really nice Breitling winged logo there. By the way, speaking of the logo, I forgot to mention, for anybody that does not know, the logo on this is not stainless steel. It is actually white gold, the applied Breitling logo on the dial there. So if you're not familiar with how this system works, yes, you have to cut the rubber strap. Now, this is not the only watch that you have to cut a rubber strap on, but I prefer not to have to cut the rubber strap. The fortunate thing about this is if, you always go measure twice, cut once type of deal. If you screw up, if you end up cutting, and you definitely want to do this, you get the watch, you put it on your wrist, and, you want to cut a piece and then attach it back, and this is kind of a pain in the ass process. It's going to take you a little bit to, depending on the size of your wrist, to get that nice fit, but you really do want to be careful, of course. So you're going to want to cut once and then insert the pin and insert it back in and check where you need to go, and then you're going to cut the other side and all that jazz. The great thing is, let's say you end up cutting one piece off and you're like extra, and you're like, or you screw up on a piece because you cut too much and you didn't cut at enough angle, and it ended up cutting through the pinhole, which then you can't use because you're not going to be able to attach it that way, and you have to cut off an extra bar. The great thing is the way this clasp works. So on the inside of here, I'll pull it all the ways out. You can see you have this push button ratcheting mechanism. And unlike a lot of the ratcheting clasps, say on microbrand divers or some of the Swatch products like the Mitos and Hamiltons and Certinas, you're not going to see any clasp when you pull that out. You will just see rubber. So the good thing about it is if you screw up and you cut too much, it's not going to matter because you have a good amount of leeway that you'll be able to, it'll still fit you, no problem, because you'll be able to pull it out one brick, if you will, and everything will be fine. Now, when you're extending it out, you do have to have it off the wrist. When it's on the wrist, though, you do not have to do that. So I can go ahead and I could put it on my wrist. And I could tighten it up just like that. You put your thumb here, you put your finger here, you just give a little pressure, and then you can go ahead and tighten it up and get that perfect fit for yourself. So, as I said, this is quite a departure for me as far as something that I'm wearing on a regular basis. For many different reasons, as I've said, and yet I do love it. Now, just because I love it doesn't mean I don't have any problems with it. I mean, yeah, I'd like a little less text on the dial. I know you got your, it has to see either, the official chronometer, your COSC certified piece here. And I get that. This is a base at a 2824 for anybody that doesn't know that. Of course, Breitling lists it as the caliber 17. So it's got a lot of text on the dial, but it just kind of works. I mean, I would prefer if the numerals, instead of just being applied metal there, actually were loomed, if they were fully loomed, because it would just give a lot more surface area of lume, and I think it would look nice. Although, that said, it does look cool the way it is, and the reflections, when you look at it like that, they look all grayed and blacked out, but then when you turn it, you see the light hits it, and it does have a nice look, a little bling factor, I guess, on the dial. I could do without the high polish on the sides. I mean, at this point, I'm not wiping it down constantly, but I do find myself, I'm, wiping them down more than I would if they were brushed sides on a watch. But that is kind of one of Breitling's things. The new Super Ocean actually does have brushed sides finally. It's pretty much an all satin brushed piece as opposed to high polish on it. I don't prefer to have to cut that bracelet. I did curse, the rubber strap. I did curse a little bit, but as I said, because of the way this clasp system works, you don't have to worry as much if you screw up a little bit, which, by the way, I did. I screwed up one brick because I cut too far into it, and I screwed up and it cut into the spring pin hole. But I gotta say, other than that, I do really love wearing this watch. Yes, it is a beast of a watch. It is a large watch. You know, for my 7.5-inch wrist, it works. You know, if you have a wrist smaller than mine, it is probably just going to be too big. But of course, that's your preference, and you wear whatever you want. For me, I am loving it. As I said, I'm going to have links to everything down below, so you can check that out. Hopefully, I'll have the written article up within a few days after you see this video, so you can check out watchreport.com for that. And if any, you know, for anything else, of course, I don't like to beat you guys over the head with it, but like, share, comment, all that stuff. Please share this on Facebook and Twitter and your social media accounts. Go ahead and like and leave a comment. If you're not subscribed, we'd really appreciate if you do so, and hit that notification bell so you never miss all of our content. And it is at Watch Report, and we are on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. This has been a look at my Breitling Seawolf Avenger 2. I hope you enjoyed the video, and whatever I miss here, I will try and get in the written article, of course. This has been Don Evans. Thanks for watching. Talk to you on the next one.